Hey there, this is 4.03. I'm going to run through some of all of the learning objectives for this assignment. So, first one, state the number of zeros for each function. Again, zeros are also called roots or solutions. These are the number of possible solutions you could have, or the number of x-intercepts or roots or zeros, all mean the same thing for each one. The fundamental theorem of algebra just says that take a look at the highest degree, and that's the number of solutions. Now, some of them might be complex, which we're not going to get into right now. They might be real or complex. There are, for number one, there's a total of 5 solutions. Not worrying about real or complex. There's 4 solutions for number 2. Yes, folks, it is that easy. You probably thought the fundamental theorem of algebra was going to be like really scary. Let's just find the highest degree in the polynomial, and that's the number of solutions. Woo! Number 10 has got 8 solutions, potentially. Cool. Now we want to find all of the zeros. Thankfully for you, these are in factored form. If it was not in factored form, which we will discover later this unit or module, it is quite a bit of work. But it's in factored form, which is phenomenal. So all we need to do is make each of those factors equal 0, and those are the solutions. Because if I can make this thing equal 0, I don't even care what these numbers equal. Then when I plug in 0 and simplify what's in the green, doesn't matter, because if the yellow value is 0, if the yellow factor is 0, 0 times whatever's in green is 0. So what makes this yellow factor equal 0? X equal to 0. But I can play the same game with this factor. If I can make that factor equal 0, when I multiply it with the other factors, it would also equal 0 for my output. So another root or solution or x-intercept to this function is when x equals -2, because -2, again, does what I just said. And then lastly, I can make the whole value equal 0, or get the x-intercept or the root or solution if x equals 2. Now, when you check your answers, they're going to, I don't know if they put them in numerical order, but they put them in these fancy pants brackets. I call them fancy pants brackets. And they just list them. That is not a coordinate pair, folks. That is just listing all of your solutions. That's your solution set. Let's keep trying. Number 16. What makes that factor equal 0? 0. What makes this one equal 0? -4, because -4 plus 4 is 0. What makes this one equal 0? 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Fancy pants brackets. I'm gonna put it in numerical order just because I feel like doing that. But it's not wrong to have it in any other combination. It's just saying these are the answers. Let's do number 18, then I'm going to move along. X equals 0 is a solution. 5 makes that factor equal 0, so 5 is a solution. And -2 makes that factor equal 0. If any of these factors equal 0, the whole value equals 0. The whole function is 0, because 0 times anything is 0. It's called the zero product property. Here are the rest of your problems. By the way, I can't get the PDF to attach to your lesson today, which is really frustrating. I'm not going to go into more detail, but you might just need to screenshot this stuff, Command-Shift-4. You get a little crosshairs on your laptop, drag it around to make a rectangle. Mine saves to the desktop, but that might be how you have to get more practice. I'll also show the answers in a second, so you can check your work. State if the given binomial is a factor of the given polynomial. It is a factor, oh boy, as I wrote down on today's lesson, it is a factor if the remainder is 0. That is 0. So personally, like, to make assignments a little more interesting when I was your age, and even now when I'm doing this stuff, like, I'm cheering for it to be a factor. Like, I want it to work out. That means I want the remainder to be 0, because if the remainder is 0, then I got a factor, which is exciting. So it just kind of puts a little personality with this. Makes it a little more interesting for you. So we are running our synthetic division. Make sure you acknowledge negative signs. So 35 is negative. Make sure you notice that if there are any missing terms or not. But there aren't. End of the third, end of the second, end of the one, end of the zero. We're good. Now your multiplier here needs to be what makes this binomial equal 0, or what is the root of one of these, what is one of the roots or solutions in the polynomial, kind of like we were doing just up above. -7. -7 is what we're running through this machine, not +7, -7, because that is a solution. Drop your leading coefficient down, multiply, add. I'm going really fast here, folks. You can slow it down, you can pause, you can check your work. -7 times -5 is +35. When you add, you get 0. So yes, x plus 7 is a factor. Let's try 24. 24. What makes this factor equal? I shouldn't use the word factor yet. What makes that potential factor equal 0? 9. So 9 is what I'm running through. Bring down your coefficients. Make sure you're not missing any terms. We are not, so we are good to go. Remember, if you're missing a term, put a 0 in place of that missing coefficient. Drop down your multiplier. Drop down your leading coefficient, then multiply. 54. Add. Multiply. -1 times 9. Oops, it's -9. Multiply. Oh no, and now when I add, I get -8. This is my remainder, folks. I missed a letter there. Remainder, or two. Remainder. And it's not 0. Wah, wah. So, no, m minus 9 is not a factor. Remember up above, we got a 0 out. So then our answer is yes. N plus 7 is a factor. Yay. Last but not least, what is the remainder when you divide? Now, they've been using the elementary division symbol, but here they have a fraction bar, which also means division. So let's use synthetic division. You can do long division if you really want to, but So remember, we drop down. I hope some of these are missing terms. I might not have made it that way. Shoot. To review that before we take our test. And check, maybe on your assessment, some of them are missing terms. Just be careful of that always. I make up these extra special practices for you guys out of love, but sometimes I miss little details. Some things you just have to kind of keep track of. Sorry if I missed it. All right, so drop down your leading coefficient. Oh, again, notice what makes that potential factor, that factor equal 0? -9. So -9 is your multiplier. Drop down your leading coefficient, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply. Ooh, you get an 81. Positive 81. So then you add, you get -5. Let's see if that's right. Number 31. -5. All right, cool. We got it right. Hip, hip, hooray, fist bump. Let's try numero 34. Bring down your coefficients. Make sure you're not missing any terms. If you are, put a 0 in place of it, because the coefficient of that term would be 0. Our multiplier is whatever makes what we're dividing by equal 0. So +1. Drop it down. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. The remainder is -7. Oops, I should have stated that on number 31. Remainder is -7, double exclamation point. Here we're not worried about if that a minus 1 is a factor or not, although now we know it's not. but they're just asking what the remainder is. So boom. It's kind of I don't know why they exactly put that in right here, but whatever. We'll give you points for doing it right. Let's check it. 34. Is it -7? Yes. All right. Here are the answers to the other ones, folks. Give some of them a shot. Probably shouldn't do all 40 of them, but do some from every section. Build your confidence up. All right.